Good evening and welcome to this week's programme. It's just after 6 o'clock on Saturday the 31st of July. And in the news this week, disaster. COVID-19 has affected Weymouth ice cream business Rossi's due to a shortage of ingredients needed to make ice cream. Rossi's, which has been serving ice cream in Weymouth since the 1930s, say that a lack of ingredients, which is affecting all ice cream makers, means that they will no longer be able to supply their very popular takeaway tubs of ice cream. And they will only be selling ice creams from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. each day from the 2nd of August, as long as the shortage of ingredients continues. Turning to something different, Lipton's, who are a architectural consultancy, have been given planning permission for the unique conversion of a World War II bunker into a holiday home, and you can see a picture of it up on the screen now. They are absolutely delighted that their highly unusual scheme to turn a disused World War II bunker into a holiday home on the Dorset coast at Ringstead has been granted planning permission and listed buildings consent. The bunker was originally part of a World War II chain of home radar detection system, and the bunker played a significant role in Churchill's Wizards' War. Previously lost beneath the landscape and vegetation, by inhabiting the bunker, they hoped to celebrate the significant, historic, yet redundant structure as a historic ruin. By blasting a new opening in the elevation, you can see that blasted hole there turned into a window. Not only can the space be enjoyed as a holiday home, but it will enjoy views of the Jurassic Coast. Well, that's good news for an old building. White Regis Rainbows have been the first to take up on the Summer Reading Challenge. This year's Summer Reading Challenge is off to a flying start, with over 1,000 children in Dorset signing up in the last 3 weeks. The reading agency's Summer Reading Challenge is delivered in partnership with public libraries. This year they have teamed up with WWF for the theme Wild World Heroes, inspiring children to explore ways of helping to save the planet. The challenge focuses on action for nature and tackling real-world environmental issues, including plastic pollution, wildlife decline and nature loss. Children will join 6 fictional characters, the Wild Heroes, to help solve some of these threats. They will learn about the importance of the environment while helping to restore nature levels. The White Regis Rainbows group were first to take up on the challenge in Dorset and have already been enjoying exploring the books about the natural environment and discussing issues affecting the planet. The challenge runs until the 11th of September, and children aged between 4 and 11 years can sign up for free at their local library. Those taking part will receive special stickers every time they finish a book and will get a certificate and medal once they complete the challenge. In addition, there's a fun range of accessible reading activities available online to help keep families entertained over the school holiday. If you want more information on the Summer Reading Challenge, there is a specific website. It's at www.summerreadingchallenge.org.uk. That's www.summerreadingchallenge.org.uk. Weymouth and Portland Lions, local charity group there, do a lot of good work in the community, have roared back after a year's absence with their ever popular live music street busking events. The Lions entertained the Weymouth crowd with a wide variety of live music events, including Replay, Julie Story's Let's Dance, Abby Brewster, Annie Mack and Norman, Tony Lowe, Ed Hintz, YQ Godelics, Brian Lincoln, son solo guitarist Ken Watkins, and for the first time supporting the Lions fundraiser were the Dark Descendants, a talented group of young musicians from All Saints. Kevin Brooks, who's the current president of the club, said, "We are delighted to be back. The sun shone on us and we raised over £600. I think it would be fair to say that Weymouth was buzzing with the sound of live music. Clearly everyone enjoyed being out and about and entertained with such an eclectic mix." Of course, Weymouth and Portland Lions raise money to support other local community projects and other community groups. And of course, if you're interested in the Lions or Weymouth Lions, more information on them can be gained at www.weymouthlionsclub.co.uk. That's www.weymouthlionsclub.co.uk. Litter Heroes have been taking on the Summer Challenge across Dorset. Over the month of June, 120 litter heroes took part in a month-long litter picking challenge in their local areas across Dorset. Signed up to the challenge were a real mix of participants, from families with young children to young adults and older residents of Dorset. For the duration of June, the participating litter heroes took part in a challenge of their choosing. Alongside the choice of creating their own challenge, 3 challenges were suggested by Litter Free Dorset. Over 2/3 of our participants took part 10 times challenge, where they litter picked their local area 10 times over the course of June. Other participants also opted for the 10 minutes daily challenge, while some litter heroes signed up and completed a staggering 10-hour challenge, where they litter picked for 10 hours over the course of one day. In total, the volunteers collected approximately 1 tonne of litter, the equivalent of weighing up a baby humpback whale. By taking part, individuals reduce the impact of plastic pollution and littered waste in our local environment. Results showed that most common form of litter was confectionery and food packets. Other plastic items such as disposable PPE, plastics, drinks, bottles and wet wipes were also very abundant. So there we go. The Litter Free Dorset Challenge initiative was a collaboration between Litter Free Dorset and the Preventing Plastic Pollution Project, supported by Queen Mary University of London and co-financed by Interreg France Channel England programme. A big thank you to all those, obviously, that took part and removed a load of litter from our environment at the same time. This year, the RNLI in Weymouth will not be having a lifeboat week. Most years there's a very popular lifeboat week which is used to raise funds for the RNLI. However, some of the station volunteer fundraisers will still be out and about around the town from the 1st to the 7th of August, raising awareness of the RNLI and fundraising by shaking a bucket. Well, I hope they won't be shaking a bucket, because you're not actually allowed to shake your buckets on street collections. But they'll be standing there with their buckets, hoping that you will fill them with lots of coins and paper money, hopefully. They have also come bang up to date, so if you haven't got your cash, don't worry. They will be armed with a card machine to enable you to donate to the charity by use of your card. And of course, it's a very worthy charity that's very important to Weymouth and the surrounding area, as it saves many lives at sea. There will be a stall outside the HSBC Bank in St Mary Street on Tuesday the 3rd of August and Wednesday the 4th of August, with safety leaflets, sea safety advice, as well as a chance to donate. And on Friday the 6th of August, there will be a stall on the Esplanade selling bric-a-brac, which will be open from 10 AM to 5 PM. So pop along either to the HSBC Bank on the 3rd and 4th of August, or to the Esplanade at the charity fundraising point, where you'll be familiar most charities run stalls over the summer period on Friday the 6th of August. Turning to Dorset Police, they are appealing for witnesses after an attempted robbery in Weymouth. Dorset Police are appealing for help and witnesses with an alleged attempted robbery at a store in Weymouth. Dorset Police received a report at 1:05 PM on Saturday the 24th of July of a man who was reported to be in possession of a knife near to Broadway Village Stores on Dorchester Road. It was further reported that the man had entered the store in possession of the knife, threatened and assaulted the shopkeeper and made demands for money. The victim reportedly knocked the knife out of the man's hand before he left the premises empty-handed. Officers attended and a 24-year-old man from Frome in Somerset was arrested nearby. He was subsequently charged with attempted robbery, criminal damage and possessing a knife blade or sharp-pointed article in a public place, and he's due to appear before magistrates. However, they are very keen to hear from any witnesses or anybody that took any photos or anything, and usual sort of contact numbers for Dorset Police of 101. You can also get in touch online via dorsetpolice.uk and also through the Crime Stoppers charity at 0800 555 111. Moving to Weymouth Town Council. They've got plans to improve Radipole Park and Gardens, and those plans are progressing well, and the design team is now in place. All work needs to be openly tendered, so detailed designs are being developed with a view to appointing main contractors early next year. The Town Council will be holding a public consultation event in the Radipole Park and Gardens from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the 24th of August to share their plans with you and to answer any questions you may have on the project, which they hope the work will start on in spring 2022. So if you'd like to see what is planned for Radipole Park and Gardens, pop along there on the 24th of August between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Weymouth Town Council has been awarded just over £1 million for this project. That's about 70% of the funding that's needed by the National Lottery Heritage Fund and the National Lottery Community Fund, and that will pay for the improvements to Radipole Park and Gardens. The project aims to encourage more people to use the facilities and reconnect with wildlife and nature through an exciting and engaging activity programme. There will also be plenty of opportunities for people to get involved through a variety of different volunteer and training placements. The funding is being used to make improvements and changes to the whole site, including a new path network for visitors. Popular areas such as the sports courts will be repaired and improved, and extra facilities added. Plans also include new features such as the installation of a new heritage cafe, toilets, an updated play area and a sensory garden. So that's all good news for Radipole Park and Gardens. Staying with Weymouth Town Council, they said this week that their partnership at Tumbledown Farm has been a great success. The one-year partnership was between Weymouth Town Council and Weymouth Area Development Trust and was for the initial steps to deliver a community farm and create responsible stewardship over the natural environment and supporting community life, learning and well-being in a sustainable and economic way. Tumbledown Farm is a Weymouth Town Council asset. It's been lying dormant, waiting for the right moment and the right team to reawaken its potential. The partnership that emerged between Weymouth Town Council and the Weymouth Area Development Trust in June 2020 was the opportunity to prepare a long-term plan to develop the site into a community asset, with the aim of growing local food and working with community groups, vulnerable people, schools, colleges and members of the public. The vision for Tumbledown is to be an inclusive green space which nurtures the life-giving environment to support community-led growing, learning and well-being now and for future generations. The Town Council has had the vision of a new way of working to deliver what the community asks for, a truly community engaged green space that includes people of all ages and provides a connection with the land. If you want any further information on Tumbledown or a group that's been set up called the Friends of Tumbledown and you'd like to get involved in any way, please contact Clive Tuck by emailing Clive Tuck, that's CLIVETUCK, at weymouthtowncouncil.gov.uk. And finally, also from Weymouth Town Council, they've agreed £2,000 worth of funding to Westham Community Group to help fund a Park Play scheme at the Marsh Sports Field. Park Play is a relatively new organisation which is aiming to run free family play sessions on the Marsh Sports Ground on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. The organised play sessions are intergenerational, catering for all ages and abilities without any requirement for fitness. The weekly games are led by a play leader who will arrange activities such as dodgeball, frisbee, scavenger hunts, quick cricket and lots more. The grant will help create and facilitate the weekly activities for residents local to Weymouth free of charge. In order to establish these schemes, £5,000 needs to be secured to fund the role of a play leader for the first year. The play leader will play a key role and will be the driving force for engaging and ensuring the enjoyment and well-being of local people. Jill Taylor, who's the chair of Westham Community Group, said, "On behalf of the group, we are very pleased to receive positive news on this grant application, which is for the maximum allowed under this scheme. Park Play will help the residents of Weymouth enjoy their open space, have fun, gain fitness and extra confidence, improve social cohesion and help the community recover from the effect of the COVID pandemic. We have other grant applications pending for this project, and as soon as we have the rest of the funding confirmed, we will be able to take this project forward, hopefully later this year. TV now, TV licensing. UK households are facing a £1,000 fine from this weekend as changes to the TV licensing come into play. Pensioners now face a £1,000 fine if they do not get a TV licence by this weekend. On the 1st of August 2020, the BBC announced TV licences would no longer be free for those over 75 years of age. Now, a year later, that change is about to come into force. The BBC will start charging everyone for a TV licence from Sunday, and people could be hit with a four-figure fine if they don't have one. Hundreds of thousands of people aged over 75 could face a £1,000 fine if they don't buy a TV licence. Current cost of a TV licence, to remind you, is £157.50 a year, or if you've only got a black and white TV, £53. However, if people are on pension credits, they'll be entitled to continue to get a free TV licence. If you're eligible for a free TV licence, and it doesn't get given to you automatically, that's the key thing. So if you're over 75 and you get those pension credits, but you haven't got a TV licence, it's not going to happen automatically. You will need to get an application form, and you're going to need to phone a telephone number to get it. So this is a very important number for those of you over 75 who haven't got a TV licence. It's 0300 790 6117. That's 0300 790 6117. So that's if you're over 75, you're on pension credits, and you haven't got a TV licence yet, and you think you might be entitled to a free one, give that number a ring, and they will give you the paperwork and the help to get that in place. Well, that's the end of our headlines this evening, and it's just past 17 minutes past 6. Now, our first main article this evening follows the theme of the Weymouth and Melcombe Regis 450 anniversary, which we've been hearing about over several weeks. And we'll continue to hear about through the rest of the year. And this week, Janet Hall has been looking back at some of the history and looked back over 400 years to the time of the civil wars in Weymouth and Portland.
Hello. A few weeks ago, I reminded you how Weymouth and Melcombe Regis had been joined together by a charter in 1571. 450 years ago, and in the time of Queen Elizabeth. On her death in 1603, James I became king, and then in 1625 the turbulent reign of Charles I started. By 1643, the civil war between the parliamentarians, led by Oliver Cromwell, and the Royalists under Charles I was raging. Sir Walter Earle, a local member of Parliament for this area, with strong Calvinistic views, secured the ports of Weymouth, Lyme Regis and Wareham, along with Portland Castle, for the parliamentarians during the build-up to the fighting. In 1645, Royalist plotters within the then twin towns of Weymouth and Melcombe Regis conspired to take control of the parliamentary-run ports and deliver them into the control of King Charles I. This deadly plot, known as the Crabchurch Conspiracy, led to a truly bloody battle with over 500 fatalities, many in one night. At midnight on the 9th of February 1645, a small force of Royalist soldiers were ferried across the narrow strait where the Portland Bridge Road now crosses from Portland Castle. They linked up with sympathisers in the town who wore white handkerchiefs on their arms and used the word Crabchurch to identify themselves. They caught the parliamentarian garrison by surprise and successfully captured the chapel and the Nove forts. Recovering from their initial surprise, the parliamentarians rallied and launched counterattacks. The strength of the forts was such that despite their small numbers, the Royalists were able to hold them until the following day, when Dive and the governor of Portland Castle, William Hastings, arrived with 1,500 men to clear out any resistance and garrison the town for the king. The defending parliamentarians under William Sydenham took refuge in nearby Melcombe, which was at the time only connected to Weymouth proper by a drawbridge. The two sides began to bombard each other from across what is now Radipole Lake and the old harbour. In order to retake Weymouth, Parliament dispatched the warship Constant Reformation under William Batten, with 200 sailors from Poole and 100 cavalry under James Heane, who had made their way through enemy lines and met up with parliamentarians in Melcombe. In total, there were 1,200 parliamentarians in Melcombe, facing against a numerically stronger but less experienced and thus weaker force of 1,500 Royalists in Weymouth. On the 27th of February, Sydenham saw his chance and captured a Royalist supply convoy on its way to Weymouth from Dorchester. When Dive moved troops to recapture the convoy, the parliamentarians stormed the bridge with 150 musketeers, taking the town and eventually both the forts. Goring immediately marched down to retake the town with a combined force of 6,500 men, but the attack was repulsed by Sydenham and Batten, those Royalists involved in the conspiracy were for the main part executed. If you want to see evidence of the siege of Melcombe, go to the corner of Maiden Street and look up at the lodging there, and you will see a cannonball, or a replica of a cannonball, lodged in the wall of the house. That's all for now, but watch out for some more items about Weymouth's 450 years of history.
Thank you very much there, Janet, for taking us back there to 1645 and the Crabchurch conspiracies. And maybe you didn't know some of that information that Janet has shared with us this evening. And taking us back some of those 450 years and back to the times where Weymouth and Melcombe regions were separate before they were brought together. Our second piece this evening relates to the recent rise in temperature. And because of good numbers of wildlife such as deer, rabbits and hares and increased farming, we're finding that there are more ticks this year on our pets than there have been in previous years. This summer so far has been a bumper year for ticks, and many dogs that walk in the countryside will have been getting ticks unless the owners have been taking on board some preventative treatment. Of course, whilst it's more likely that our dogs will get affected by ticks, us humans can also fall victim to the ticks, and for us it can be more serious and bring us things like life-threatening and life-changing Lyme's disease. I've heard a lot of advice on what to do with ticks in dogs and humans over the years. And what I've certainly learned is it's most important that you must not try to pull the ticks straight out, or suffocate them with nail varnish or cleaner, or burn them with cigarettes. Because all of these methods can either leave the head of the tick in your body, or the ticks can actually excrete a material as they're being killed into you, which can then start to cause disease in you. So I thought, having learnt about the increased numbers, we should get some proper advice on what to do with ticks, what they are, what to look out for, and how to keep ourselves safe. So tonight we're going to hear from Mika Peach of Public Health England all about ticks. And I do warn you that some of the pictures at the start are a little bit scary if you're not into creepy crawlies and things like that.
This is a tick, a tiny blood-sucking member of the spider family. Unfed, adults are about 3 millimeters in length and they swell up when engorged with blood. Nymphs and larvae, however, are tiny and can be easily overlooked. We have about 20 different species of tick in the UK, and this one, Ixodes ricinus, is the main one that bites humans. Although known as the sheep tick, it also feeds on deer, cattle and other wild animals, and also your pets, making it widespread throughout the countryside. Ticks can be found at any time of year, but are particularly active from spring through to autumn, when most of us head outside. If infected, ticks can cause diseases such as Lyme disease by transmitting the bacteria Borrelia burgdorferi. It's important to remember that not all ticks are infected, and you must remain aware and know what to do if you are bitten. To find out more about ticks and how to avoid them, let's go out into their natural environment. Ticks are found in many different types of places, such as woodlands, grasslands, heaths and urban parks. They wait on the tips of vegetation and long grasses for a host to brush past. Ticks don't jump, but they walk along their host to find a suitable place to attach and feed. They have a natural anaesthetic in their saliva, which means the host won't always notice they've been bitten. They also have very specialised mouth parts with backward-facing spines, which means they can be difficult to remove. If you find you've been bitten by a tick, it's important to remove it as soon as possible. The sooner you remove the tick, the less chance there is of transmission of a disease. Take your tweezers and grab your tick as close to the skin as possible. Pull gently, upwards and out, making sure you take the mouth parts of the tick with you, as they may be left behind and cause irritation. Make sure you don't aggravate the tick by squeezing it or burning it with a cigarette or match, and don't cover it with substances like olive oil or Vaseline. You can even use a tick remover tool, like this one, if you have one to hand, but tweezers work just as well. Most ticks do not carry Lyme disease, but if you have been bitten by a tick, it's important to keep an eye on the place where you were bitten for several weeks, just in case a rash develops. This could be a symptom of Lyme disease, and you should consult your doctor, giving details of when and where you were bitten by a tick. Symptoms of Lyme disease can include a slowly expanding circular reddish rash, flu-like feeling, fatigue, muscle and joint pain. Untreated, it can be serious, but it can be treated with antibiotics. Make sure to go and see your GP if you start feeling unwell and tell him you've participated in outdoor activities. There are simple steps you can take to protect yourself from any unwanted passengers. Stick to the paths, make sure you don't walk through dense vegetation and grassland. Try and cover up as much as possible and wear light coloured clothing so ticks can be easily seen. And use insect repellents.
There we go, and thank you to Mika and Public Health England for that. And if you wonder where to get those nice little green tick removing things, most vets sell them. You can certainly get them online, and they're actually a good device to have for removing ticks from humans as well as your dogs. Let's hope you don't get attacked by the ticks. I remember a particularly difficult scout camp many years ago that had to be abandoned halfway through due to the number of youngsters actually getting bitten by or getting attacked by ticks. That was a long time ago, but it was quite a shocking thing at the time. Our final piece tonight is about catalytic converters. Now, we have heard about catalytic converters before, but unfortunately now the incidence of theft in Dorset has significantly increased, and Dorset Police have put some information out this week to raise the awareness of catalytic converter theft and to actually tell us how to protect our vehicles, because it can be quite a costly experience with catalytic converters costing many hundreds of pounds or possibly thousands to replace. So this week our reporter Lydia has been looking at all the latest information from Dorset Police on the theft of catalytic converters.
Dorset Police has this week issued crime prevention advice to motorists following an increase in catalytic converter thefts over the last year due to the rising value of the precious metals they contain. Dorset Police data reveals there were 94 reports of catalytic converters stolen from vehicles in the county between January and June 2021. This increased by 368% from the same period in 2020. These thefts can have a real impact on victims. It is not only an inconvenience, but also disrupts day-to-day tasks, such as taking children to school and getting to and from work. Catalytic converter thefts can also leave victims with pricey repair bills, increased premiums, or even having their vehicles written off. Superintendent Heather Dixie from Dorset Police has told us, "Our officers are working hard to prevent this crime. A number of vehicles being used to commit these offences have been seized recently, and our crime scene investigators are working hard to forensically link offenders to these vehicles and the crimes. Superintendent Dixie went on to tell us, Dorset Police acknowledges that this is a concern for our communities and we are doing everything we can to prevent it, but this crime can happen in a matter of seconds. We are asking for your help. We can't stop this crime without you, so if you know something, please help your community and contact us. There are ways you can protect your catalytic converter from thieves. Think about where you park. If you can, park your vehicle in a locked garage. If this isn't an option, then park it in a well-lit and well-populated area. Park close to fences, walls or a curb, and avoid parking your vehicle half on the pavement and half on the road, as this may make it easier for thieves to access the catalytic converter. If you are parking in a public car park, consider parking alongside other vehicles. This will make it harder for thieves to get close enough to get underneath the vehicle. Mark your catalytic converter. You can mark your catalytic converter with a unique code that will relate back to your vehicle. This is done using Smart Water and is an incredibly effective way of preventing theft. Smart Water is a forensic liquid, which can withstand heat of up to 600 degrees. It can be applied to car parts and each batch has a unique code which allows it to be traced back to the owner. Of course, if you do become a victim of catalytic converter theft or any other crime, you can report it online at www.dorset.police.uk. You can call Dorset Police on 101 or you can contact independent charity Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111 where you can make an anonymous report or pass on information. We really do hope you don't become a victim of catalytic converter crime. Back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Lydia there. And the Smart Water product that they mention, therefore marking your catalytic converters, is that which is used on things like church roofs to mark the lead. And once applied, you can't actually see it, but it has a unique DNA trace in it, which can be viewed with special light and samples take to actually trace back where that material has come from and make sure that the perpetrators, if picked up, get convicted. And that's the most important thing. So we're now moving on to the weather. Just give a time check. It's just coming up to 6:33. And our national weather forecast from the Met Office this week is a little bit different. Our usual national weather forecasters must be off this weekend. And we've just got a video with audio this week rather than actually a presenter stood in front of us. So we'll go to the Met Office now for this week's national weather forecast.
To your latest forecast. This weekend's going to be a fairly mixed one for much of the UK, with the brightest weather expected through Sunday, though in general the weekend will be fairly cool and cloudy with a thunderstorm warning in force through Saturday. So Storm Ava has moved off to the northeast now, but we're still left in the remnants of it with an occlusion slowly sinking southwards through the UK throughout the weekend. That occlusion is bringing fairly cloudy conditions with outbreaks of rain too. Those outbreaks of rain will be heaviest across the southeast, where there is a thunderstorm warning in force with a risk of hail and lightning too. Across the northwest we'll see the best of the bright conditions throughout this afternoon, and generally temperatures are a touch below average for the time of year. Into Saturday evening then, we'll see those outbreaks of rain continue for a time but start to fade overnight. Generally cloudy though for much of the UK. Clearest and driest across the northwestern areas, where we could see temperatures dip down to 10 degrees. Elsewhere though, fairly mild under all that cloud with temperatures in the mid-teens on Saturday night. So to start Sunday then, it will still be fairly cloudy for many central parts. In the southeast, a brighter start, but outbreaks of rain soon developing through the afternoon. The best of the brightest weather will be across the southwest and northwest, where temperatures could be coming up to around 22 degrees and it will feel fairly warm in the sunshine, especially compared to Saturday. So looking further ahead then, that sunnier and warmer weather from the southwest likely to spread elsewhere throughout the start of next week, but there will be some showers too. For more details, follow us on social media.
There we go. That's the national weather forecast for this weekend. And our local forecast, if we pop up our little weather widget, if we can find it, there we go, is very, very similar to that of the national picture. It's going to be reasonably warm. Temperatures may top up to 2021, but they're generally going to be sort of 17, 18, 19. But it's going to be a changeable week, so there will be the chance of showers. It will be overcast at times, but there will be some nice sunny periods as well. So what I would call ideal growing weather. And if the weeds in my garden are anything to be judged by, certainly the rain and sunshine over recent weeks, they've gone absolutely mad, and there's a massive job there trying to cut them back and get them under control. Turning on to the traffic and travel, it's thankfully going to be quite quiet as we go into August. And happening locally this week, we've got Southern Gas Networks working on Doncaster Road, and we've got T-Mobile working in Hampshire Road, just off the Granby Industrial Estate, where they may have some lane closures during the week. So that's one to watch out for. Not too much else pre-notified, so hopefully there won't be too many other roadworks on our local roads. On the trains, there's no planned engineering works affecting services directly from Weymouth this weekend or in the week ahead, but those works in the Bristol area are still undergoing, and they will be until the beginning of September, and there may be knock-on effects at times to services elsewhere. Looking at what's coming up on our What's On section, the Pavilion is got a full programme of shows and things happening. The Pirates of the Pavilion started back on Monday, and they're there every Monday and Tuesday during August, so ideal if you want a family time out. Shows are at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. and ideal if you're here on holiday and looking for something to do as well. Now, they've got quite a lot of musical things coming up. On the 7th of August, they've got the Jammed and Ultimate Madness. On the 12th of August, the Take That Experience. On the 13th of August, Uptown Joel. 15th of August, Midnight Training to Gladys. Midnight Training to Gladys, it says. I think that's a Gladys Knight type tribute act. And on 19th of August, Magic of the Beatles. So I think they're all tribute acts, and judging by the tribute acts they get in, they are very, very good. So if you like the music of those sorts of people, then there's obviously somewhere to go there in the next couple of weeks. Turning to the Knowth Fort, the Knowth have got the Dorset Food and Drink Pop-Up Producers Market tomorrow, 1st of August, from 11 o'clock to 4 p.m. Next week, on the 8th of August, they've got the New Creations Collective Secret Garden. It's a play, I think. Join Mary on her journey of discovery, The Secret Garden, in this brand new family-friendly dance adaptation of the best-selling novel of Frances Hodgson Burton. So it's a dance performance. On the 14th of August at the Knowth Fort, they've got, and the 15th of August, they've got their Victorian Weekend. They're very, very popular, where people dress up and reenact stuff and all that sort of thing. So that's a good thing to go along. So that's the 14th and the 15th of August. And on the 21st of August, the very popular Matchstick Fleet returns. All of those ships made from matchsticks, and they've had this a number of times over the years, and that's going to be there for a few weeks from the 21st of August. Further afield, next Saturday, the 7th of August, Poundbury have got their Dorset Food and Arts Festival market, and entrance is free. That's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Great Field at Poundbury. So if you've got any events coming up or anything you wish us to share, do get in touch with us to let us know about your events or your shows or your fundraising activities. The email is news@wykeregis.tv. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with some of those other 450 Weymouth and Melcombe Regis 450 celebrations that are coming up over the following weeks as we go through the rest of the summer and into the autumn. And a time check for you, it's just gone at 6:39. And we get to that part in our programme where we look at one of the films that's coming up. And this week's film is advance notice of a new release which will be out just after the summer. And this will interest some of you, I am sure. It's based on the true story that will inspire the world. It's by Warner Brother Pictures. It's called King Richard, and it follows the journey of Richard Williams, an undeterred father instrumental in raising two of the most extraordinarily gifted athletes of all time, who will end up changing the sport of tennis forever. Two-time Oscar nominee Will Smith stars as Richard, under the direction of Ronaldo Marcus Green. Driven by a clear vision of their future and using unconventional methods, Richard has a plan that will take Venus and Serena Williams from the streets of Compton, California, to the global stage as legendary icons. The profoundly moving film shows the power of family, perseverance, and unwavering belief as a means to achieve the impossible and impact the world. Sanaya Sidney stars as Venus Williams, Demi Singleton stars as Serena Williams, with Tony Goldwyn as coach Paul Cohen and John Bernthal as coach Rick Mackey. The ensemble also includes Andy Bean, Kevin Dunn and Craig Tate. So if you like tennis and you follow or have followed Venus and Serena Williams over the years, this is going to be a must for you. King Richard is due out in November, and here we go with the trailer.
What's going on? Everybody okay?
They got a call, said there was trouble in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You all need to look around?
It's a little wet for practice, don't you think? Don't the girls have schoolwork to do?
They do their homework. Tundi's first in her class. Lynn and Isha are too.
Now, I don't even mind you saying we hard on these kids. You know why? Because we are. That's our job, to keep them off these streets. You want to check on the kids? Let's check on the kids. We got future doctors and lawyers, plus a couple tennis stars in this house.
The chances of achieving the kind of success that you're talking about is just very, very unlikely.
Okay, you making a mistake, but I'm gonna let you make it. Watch them hit a few balls. All right. So tell me your names again.
I'm Venus. I'm Serena.
So what'd you think? I wrote me a 78-page plan for their whole career before they was even born.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
These girls so great, how come I've never heard of them?
They're from Compton.
It's okay. They're just not used to seeing good-looking peoples like us. She's nervous. Take a step up. Maybe she ought to take a few more steps up. Just get someplace safe.
I think you might just have the next Michael Jordan.
Oh, no, brother man. I got me the next, too. This next step you about to take, you're not gonna just be representing you. You're gonna be representing every little black girl on earth.
I'm not gonna let you down.
How could you? This world ain't never had no respect for Richard Williams, but they gonna respect y'all. You gonna walk out there with your head up. You are a champion, and the whole world knows it. The most dangerous creature on this whole earth. It's a woman who know how to think.
Yes, Daddy.
Ain't nothing she can't do. You gonna show them how dangerous you are? Venus and Serena gonna shake up this world. Venus Williams, who is your best friend?
You, Daddy.
Serena Williams, who is your best friend?
Venus. Then you.
That's
Then you. After
unbelievable.
Venus.
There we go, in cinemas on the 19th of November, King Richard, the true story about Venus and Serena Williams, which has been dramatised. And unusually, the Venus family, including Serena and Venus, have been executive producers in the making of this film, so it's done with their full support. The time is just at 6:44, and we're just coming towards the end of our programme this evening. Just a reminder that we do have this week regular services at All Saints Church at 0800 and 9:30. The 9:30 will be live streamed, and St Edmunds at 11 o'clock. There is no quiz this week. We're taking a break on Saturday evenings with our quiz until the 4th of September. So don't look out for the quiz tonight. We won't be there. We'll be back on Saturday the 4th of September at 7:30 p.m. But if you're still into your gardening, our gardening programme, Year Gardening with Clive Gray, will be running on Friday evenings at 7 p.m. And most importantly, if you've got any local stories, local events, or local news for us, we would like to hear from you during the week. News at White Regis TV. And if you want to catch up with other local news and other local programming, please do pop along to one of our local radio stations during the week. Chesil Radio, Keep 106 or Air 107.2. Most importantly, have a safe week. If you're taking a break, have an enjoyable break and hopefully stay safe. Hopefully we'll have some good weather, and we'll be back with you at 6 p.m. next Saturday. Good night.